Okay, friends, it has been a day. So, while I roll my hair and get ready to go to bed, I'm going to tell you all a story, okay? I actually have a whole bunch of stories to tell you guys, but I'm going to tell you guys about today. So, for the past, we're just going to say over the weekend, I was like having chest pains and like heart issues run in my dad's side of the family, like really bad. So I just kind of like ignored the pains and like they just, they would come and go. So I just ignored it. So like today I had my granddaughter and like it started hurting again, like right in here. So then like a couple times yesterday, like my jaw, like I was starting to have like these like radiating shooting pains in my jaw. And I still just, ignored it. So today it started again, and I'm not gonna lie, I've started getting a little nervous because, obviously I still have a lot to live for, so like I'm not ready to die. I mean, just to put it like, bluntly, I'm just not ready to do that yet. So I messaged my best friend, and she's a nurse, so I'm like, hey, this is going on. I don't want to freak you out, but what should I do? So she's like, well, you probably should go. Okay, so like I said, I did have my little 2.5-year-old granddaughter. So I call her mom. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. And she was at work. So she can't leave. So I call the other grandma, and her and her daughter, which is my granddaughter's little aunt, they come and they pick up my granddaughter. My husband comes home from work, and we go to the urgent care in the next town over. So they pretty well took me straight back, because I told them what it was going on. And they did do an EKG. And that was normal. Like, my heart rate was high, but for me, I have anxiety, like a lot of anxiety. So that's pretty normal for my heart rate to be high, especially when I'm already like freaking out thinking I'm having a heart attack. So they couldn't do the blood work. So they say, well, we're going to have to send you on to the ER. And like they asked my husband, do you want to drive her? Or do you want us to have like an ambulance? So he was like, no, I'll just drive her. So before I left, they gave me 4 baby aspirin. And like, I'm not a good patient. Okay. I'm just going to admit it. I'm 45 years old. I'm the biggest baby when it comes to anything like invasive needles. I don't like the sight of blood. I just don't like having anything out of the ordinary done to myself, okay? So, she gives me these aspirin. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these? And she said, you have to chew them. I said, I can't swallow them. And they're little. They're baby aspirin. And she's like, no, because if you chew them, they get in your system faster. Okay. So, I put them in my mouth, and I'm just like, moving them around. And she's like, you need to chew them. The faster you chew them, the faster they're going to go down, and they're going to be gone. You're going to be done. Okay, so secretly, I know she wanted to laugh at me. And I know she was like thinking, okay, this woman is nuts. And that's okay, because like I laughed at myself after. So I chew those things, and like I have a very, like, it doesn't take a lot to make me gag. So I'm trying my best to swallow them, but I'm going, and I'm trying. She hands me a puke bag. And needless to say, I didn't puke. I did manage to keep them down. They didn't have like a bad taste. They were like an orange flavor, but like they were very, I think the word I used was foamy. Like they were foamy. And I'm a texture girl, okay? Weird textures I don't like in my mouth. But I did swallow. But I was like, can I have something to drink? And she's like, no, they don't want you to have nothing to drink. You're going to the ER, just in case they would need to do something. You can't have nothing to drink. So I said, not even water? Nope, not even water. Okay, cool, awesome. I got this nasty foamy taste in my mouth, and I can't have nothing to drink. Okay, so I might be a little bit dramatic too. Not gonna lie, I am dramatic. Okay, so we leave. They discharge me, and the doctor's like, "Hey, already called the ER. You know they're expecting you." Okay, so we go to the ER. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make a part 2 to this because it's gonna be too long, and nobody's gonna watch it. So I'll be back for part 2.